Hi, I'm Sam Haskell, and we have just finished our first night of preliminaries, heading toward the 95th anniversary of Miss America. And our first two preliminary winners are Daja Dial in swimsuit, Miss South Carolina, and Miss Iowa, Taylor Weavers, with a wonderful rendition of Don't Forget Me from the wonderful NBC Project Smash. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Dorothy Benham is my co-host this evening, Miss America 1977, and Dorothy Benham won the swimsuit and the talent competition when she competed. So double winner here, baby.
Thank you, Sam.
We're thrilled to have you. Now, Dorothy, I'd love for you to share some of our sponsors' names
I would love
before
to
we
do
get
that.
into interviewing these ladies.
Thank you. I would love to do that because it's such a vital part of who we are and how we exist. So we would love to thank our sponsors, Atlantic City Alliance, CRDA, CMN Hospitals, Joseph Ribkoff, and welcome our new sponsors, which are Meet AC, Sherry Hill, and B Bronze. We thank them very much.
We thank them very, very much. We could not do it without them. All right, Dorothy, why don't you talk to Miss South Carolina about that award-winning figure of hers?
Okay, well, I just will do that because I know Daja. And I
Yes.
met her 2 years ago. And 2 years ago when you and I did this, Allie had won swimsuit
Yes,
in
she
South
did.
Carolina, and I got
That's
to interview
right.
her.
That's right.
So I've known of Daja for a while. And of course, as we all know, back in the 70s and that it was much different than what you all do today. And I wouldn't want to be in a two-piece, so kudos to all of you. You look fabulous. So Daja, what is your training method, or do you have any method to your swimsuit?
Yes, so I was a college athlete. I cheered at Clemson University for 3 years, and so that was a huge part of my life, waking up at 5:30 a.m. every morning to go and work out. And so it sort of became routine, and I've kept it now after taking a year off as Miss South Carolina, and it's just been a part of my everyday life when I can, when I'm not on the road driving around. And here, it's just about doing things that you can do in your hotel room, doing things that you can do at rehearsal. It doesn't necessarily need to be weights, but it can be body weight things and different things that you can do that don't require going to a gym.
Did you find you had to adjust your eating habits at all? Just for anybody out there watching, what do you do as far as, or do you eat whatever you want?
A little bit of both.
Truth be told.
I like to splurge. Okay, my grandparents own a soul food restaurant, okay? Come on, it's really difficult to prepare for swimsuit for Miss America when they have fried chicken and rice and gravy and macaroni and cheese every day. But I do try to eat healthy, and most of the times I do stay away from fried foods, even though my grandparents have that. But I do love fish and salmon are a couple of my favorite things, and so I try to go towards those roads, and having diabetes as my platform, I absolutely have to practice what I preach.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So it sounds like you have a nice balance.
Yes.
And that's, I think, the key.
Absolutely.
I think that's just the key, is keeping a nice balance in your life.
You have to have one, absolutely.
Now, speaking of balance, Taylor, Miss Iowa won the talent preliminary tonight with the incredible Don't Forget Me from Smash. Now, I want you to talk to me just a little bit about how you chose the song, and I loved Smash. My wife Mary and I both watched every episode of it, and I think Megan Hilty might have sung the song, and
Yes,
Megan
she
Hilty is a big fan of Miss America, and she is probably going to be watching on Sunday
Oh my
night.
goodness.
So talk to me about how you chose the song.
Well, I was also a huge fan of Smash. I was very sad to see that it didn't get to have a longer life. And when I heard that song, it spoke to me because that's what all of us contestants want. We don't want the judges to forget us. We want to be the one that they see being the leader of the country for this organization. So having those words very close to my heart made me realize that it was the perfect song for my Miss America talent, and I loved singing it.
And you sang it beautifully, my
Thank
dear.
you.
Now tell us a little bit about your training. How long have you been singing?
I've been singing, well, it depends. Like in the shower, I've been singing all forever, you know. But I actually didn't start singing until I was in like 8th grade. I was a competitive dancer since I was 4. And it wasn't until my choir teacher pulled me aside and said, I really want you to sing a solo. It was A Whole New World in Aladdin. And so I was terrified. I was like, no. Like, I'll do a small group, not a solo. And she forced me. She's like, no, you really should. And from that moment, I got the bug. And then I started listening to a lot of musicals, got involved in musical theater, and now I sing all the time.
Well, you should be singing all the time, and I'm sure that all our fans in Iowa and South Carolina are really, really happy tonight. Now, I want to remind you that the Miss America broadcast, the 95th anniversary, is on Sunday night, the 13th, from 9 until 11 on ABC, and it's going to be hosted by Chris Harrison and Brooke Burke. We have a special guest in Nick Jonas, who's going to be our music curator, and we have Taya Kyle, Brett Eldridge, Kevin O'Leary, Amy Purdy, Zendaya, Dana McKellar, and the return of Miss America 1984, Vanessa Williams. You won't want to miss it. See you Sunday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. I'm Sam Haskell.
And I'm Dorothy Benham.
Good night.
Good night.